Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture series of School of Finance and Commerce. Today we are going to discuss next topic and our topic for discussion in today's lecture will be indifference curve. Here are the objectives of today's lecture. The first one is to develop the conceptual understanding of indifference curve. Second one is to familiarize students with various properties of indifference curve. And third one is to apply the acquired knowledge in real life situation. And I hope that by end of this lecture, we will be able to cover these objectives. Let's start with the introduction to indifference curve. An indifference curve is a curve which shows different combination of two commodities yielding equal satisfaction to the consumer. It means indifference curve shows combination of two goods on a curve which basically are giving equal satisfaction to the consumer. It means all the points located on an indifference curve represent such combination of two commodities as yield equal satisfaction to the consumer. It means all the points which are located on the indifference curve, these all points shows equal satisfaction for the consumer and these points are combination of two goods. Since the combination represented by each point on indifference curve yields equal satisfaction, a consumer become indifferent about their choice because two goods are giving equal satisfaction or combination of these two goods are giving equal satisfaction. In other words, he gives equal importance to all the combination on a given indifference curve. He here means the consumer. So consumer give equal importance to all the combination because all the combinations are giving equal satisfaction to the consumer. On this slide, we are having indifference schedule and indifference curve. An indifference schedule refers to a table showing different combination of two commodities which yield equal satisfaction. It means indifference schedule is basically a table which shows combination of two commodities and each combination is giving equal satisfaction under this indifference schedule. A consumer therefore gives equal importance to each of the combination. In other words, he become indifferent to the choice of a particular combination because these combinations are giving equal satisfaction to the consumer. Now we have a definition of indifference schedule. In the words of Mayers, an indifference schedule may be defined as a schedule of various combination of goods that will be equally satisfaction to the individual concerned. The following indifference schedule indicate different combination of apple and orange yielding equal satisfaction to the consumer. The above schedule shows that consumer gets equal satisfaction from all four combinations, that is A, B, C and D of apple and oranges. In combination A, the consumer has 1 apple plus 10 oranges. In combination B, he was having 2 apples plus 7 oranges. In combination C, he has 3 apples and 5 oranges. And in combination D, he has 4 apples and 4 oranges. Now, these all combinations are giving equal satisfaction to the consumer. In order to have one more apple, the consumer sacrificed some of oranges in such a way that there is no change in the level of his satisfaction out of each combination. Now, if this indifference schedule is drawn on a graph, then this becomes indifference curve. So here this indifference curve is basically drawn upon this indifference schedule, and all the combination here regarding oranges and apple are shown here in this indifference curve. Now let's discuss about the properties of indifference curve analysis. The first property is an indifference curve generally slopes downward from left to right. An indifference curve slopes downward from left to right, or that its slopes is negative as shown in this figure number 6. This property is based on the assumption that if consumer uses more quantity of one good, he will use less quantity of other. Then only he will have equal satisfaction from their different combinations. Since it is assumed that more of a commodity always implies greater satisfaction, the assumption of non-sterility, and more of one commodity must combine with less of other for the satisfaction level to remain constant. This implies downward slope of IC, that is indifference curve. The downward sloping indifference curve is shown by LM here in this graph, in this figure number 6. It implies that consumer will get equal satisfaction from A as well as B combination. Because in case of combination A, if quantities of oranges is more than in combination B, then quantity of apples is less than in the combination B. Consequently, the slope of indifference curve will invariably be like LM, that is downward sloping curve convex to the point of origin. Now, second property of indifference curve is convex to the point of origin. An indifference curve will ordinarily be convex, that is bowed inward to the point of origin. Convexity of the curve means that it bows inward to the origin. In other words, the slope of indifference curve becomes flatter as you move down the curve. The slope of indifference curve is called the marginal rate of substitution because it indicates the rate at which the consumer is willing to substitute one good, here in this example oranges and apples. So if consumer is willing to substitute one good, that is orange, for the other, that is apple. The fact that the indifference curve becomes flatter as you move down the curve implies that there is diminishing marginal rate of substitution between the goods. In other words, the property of indifference curve is based on the assumption of law of diminishing marginal rate of substitution. In this figure number 7, indifference curve is convex to the point of origin O. It signifies that marginal rate of substitution of apples for orange is diminishing. It means as the consumer gets more and more apples, he parts with less and less unit of the oranges. The consumer gave up 3 oranges, that is shown on point AB, for getting one additional apple, and 2 orange for getting another apple, and 1 orange for getting yet another apple. So this situation conforms to real life. Consequently, indifference curve is convex to the point of origin. This is the third property of IC curve, that is two indifference curves never touch or intersect each other. Each indifference curve represents different levels of satisfaction, so they do not intersect or touch each other. In this figure number 8, two IC curves, that is IC1 and IC2, have been shown intersecting each other at point A, but it is not possible in real life situation. Point A and C are on indifference curve IC1 represent combination yielding equal satisfaction. That is, satisfaction from A combination is equal to satisfaction from C combination. Likewise, points A and B shown on IC curve 2, that is IC2, represent combination yielding equal satisfaction. That is, satisfaction from A combination is equal to satisfaction from B combination. It implies that satisfaction from B combination is equal to satisfaction from C combination. But it is not possible because in B combination, quantities of oranges is more than C combination, although quantities of apple in both combination is equal. The next property of IC curve is higher indifference curve indicate higher satisfaction. In indifference map, higher indifference curve represent those combinations which yield more satisfaction than the combination on the lower indifference curve. This property is illustrated with this figure number 9. IC2 is higher and IC1 is lower indifference curve. Point B on IC2 represent more units of apple than point A on IC1 curve. Although in both combinations, quantity of oranges is the same. Hence, point B on IC2 will give more satisfaction than point A on IC1. It is evident, therefore, that higher the indifference curve, greater the satisfaction it will represent. Next property of indifference curve is indifference curve should generally not touch x-axis nor y-axis. If it is assumed that the consumer buys combination of two goods, then an IC should neither touch x-axis or nor y-axis. In case an indifference curve touches either axis, it means that the consumer wants only one commodity, but IC curve shows combination of two goods. And here, if consumer wants only one commodity, then his demand for the second commodity would be 0. An indifference curve may touch OY axis if it represents money instead of a commodity. So we can say that indifference curve never touch x-axis nor y-axis. This is the last property of indifference curve. Indifference curves need not to be parallel to each other. As shown in this figure number 11, indifference curves may or may not be parallel to each other. It all depends on the marginal rate of substitution of two curves shown in the indifference map. If marginal rate of substitution as indicated by two curves diminishes at the same rate, then this curve will be parallel to each other, otherwise they will be not parallel to each other. In order to conclude, we can say that according to indifference curve approach, it is not possible for the consumer to say how much utility he derives from the consumption of a commodity, because utility is not a measurable magnitude. But a consumer can compare two or more combination of goods with the help of indifference curve and say which of them he likes best or whether he likes them all equally well. The law of consumer demand can be deducted from these preferences. Here I have given you some practice questions. The first one is, what do you mean by indifference curve? And discuss assumptions of indifference curve. The second question is, discuss properties of indifference curve with the help of diagrams. And I hope that you will be able to answer these questions. Here is the list of references which I have used in preparation of this video lecture. You can go through these links if you want to go in more detail. Now I would like to wind up the session. Thank you.